All right.
All right, popping back in, party pundits. We are the pundits of pugilism. Um, Before we jump into our next topic, we want to make sure that you do like and subscribe. But this is the continuing segment, um, focusing on the Day of Reckoning, the heavyweight, pseudo tournament, and we're going to focus on Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin, which is going to be, this is essentially the main event of that, which even though this it's really kind of two co-main events, but this is going to be the fight that ends the night in there. And then so we have this, and just a little bit of context, right? So this is all part of this tournament is to really kind of prop up the heavyweights and really kind of signal kind of a resurrection for that weight division, but it's also a way to garner interest and develop hype for a fight that we've been looking for the last at least probably like 6 or 7 years, I believe, which is Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. And then so now we have two fighters who are, and this is Wilder and Joshua, um, bit of a kind of a crossroads. I would say they were not, when we were looking for this fight, they were both undefeated heavyweight champions. At this time, neither one of them is a champion. One of the fighters, Deontay Wilder, is coming off of a kind of a pseudo retirement or kind of mini retirement. And the other, Anthony Joshua, who has been going through this rehabilitation of not only image but also psyche, and you know I
That's
mean
perfect. That's the perfect way of putting it,
that's
man. It's the
yeah.
perfect way of putting it. Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to give a fighter breakdown. We're going to kind of go around to each of the pundits, and then we're going to end up with giving our pundit picks. We're going to start with Boston Jared. Don't forget the S. And give us your impressions of this fight and how you would think it will play out inside that square circle.
Look, I was saying it's alluding to this in between segments here. I really think that this fight is going to be a lot more interesting and competitive than any AJ fan wants it to be. Similarly to how the last AJ fight went with him and I believe it was Hellenius that
It
he
was.
fought last, which was a common opponent, and there was a big to do in there about what if AJ can't get him out of the way? Deontay Wilder got him out of there, and is that going to play a factor coming into the fight? I I think that there is a very, very good chance that this fight goes the distance. I mean, bet better. I mean, obviously there's a Bivol fight on the card, right? And there's no way that Bivol is not going to go 12 rounds, right? Out of all those fights on this card, Bivol being the outlier, Bivol always goes 12, right? This might be this fight has the best chance of going 12 rounds. Otto Wallin is a guy who is going he's going to come to box, right? AJ is trained in that UK kind of system, that 1-2, 1-1-2 amateur style system. Well, that is the same fight that Wallin brings. And that doesn't always work out well. I mean, we'll see. Wallin is a guy who is famous, one of these guys who's famous for losing, right? This is a guy that put that gigantic vagina on Tyson Fury's head, made him look bad at times, and what amounted to a 12 round kind of the cut being the most exciting part of that fight, went 12 rounds with Fury. His next best opponent is a former cruiserweight champion by the name of Murat Gassiev, in a fight that was on YouTube for a while. For anybody who didn't see it, I believe the fight took place in Turkey, so it was tough to catch live. It was on YouTube for a while. Gassiev was a guy who I rated pretty highly at cruiserweight. Did not think he came close to beating Usyk the way Breedis did, but he was one of the guys that Usyk beat en route to becoming undisputed at cruiserweight. Anyhow, Wallin fought Gassiev last in a fight where I think Gassiev won. I really thought Gassiev won. I thought Gassiev won that fight. So look, Wallin's been in there with enough guys that he's gonna be ready for AJ. When it comes to Anthony Joshua, who the fuck knows what you're gonna get? I believe there was a report that came out in the build up to this fight that said Derek James was not going to be the lead trainer for this fight. I'm not sure to what extent, if any, he's been training with Derek James in the build-up for this fight. Derek James has had a very eventful year this year with all those big-time names he's taken on. And I did have it on pretty good authority that there were folks over at Matchroom, folks over at DAZN who were a little bit concerned that AJ might not be getting the tender, loving care and affection that a fighter of his caliber and his cachet should be getting. So look, I say all that to say this. This is going to be who knows what version of AJ is going to show up. This guy is the ultimate fucking head case, right? This is a big stage for him. I know there was a lot made out of the pre-fight face-offs where Jarrell Miller was up on stage with him, acting crazy. Wilder was talking greasy about Joshua, and there were people that thought that Joshua became very unsettled by being up there on stage with those two guys at the same time. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm gonna be tuned in front and center for this fight. It does take place in Saudi Arabia. I believe Saudi has a 7-hour time difference between here and the East Coast. It's between 7 and 9 hours difference from East Coast. So this fight will probably be coming on the main event. I'm guessing is going to be airing around 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think any college football is on anymore, right? College football season is done with.
No, it's not.
Am I right?
We have the college football, the kind of tournament right there, but that starts on New Year's during that time.
Okay, well, so nothing really going on here in the good old US of A sports wise. I mean, we might have some regular season NBA basketball, maybe some college basketball. I know some EuroLeague soccer, EPO, Bundesliga, Serie A, but if you're a boxing fan and you live on the East Coast, even in the Midwest, there isn't any reason why you shouldn't be watching this. This is a massive card, one of the biggest cards we've ever seen. And this AJ fight has the potential to be very interesting and competitive. So we'll see. I'm interested. AJ always makes for good TV because you never know what the hell you're gonna get with this kid.
And just to add to your story, so he's working with Ben Davison, who
is okay.
He actually trained. He was actually training Fury when he fought Otto Wallin when he got cut in that fight. And Fury actually needed 47 stitches, so that was a pretty massive cut. But if you think about it, so Anthony Joshua has had within the last 2 years has had 3 coaches. But over the years, he's had Robert McCracken, Robert Garcia, Angel Fernandez, Derek James, and now Ben Davison. So this is a fighter that is trying to find something that is maybe not necessarily in him, and like he's looking outward for it. So I think that is at least something to take in consideration when you think about a fighter's mental state.
Yep.
So yeah, Coach, this is a good segue in talking about coaches. Kind of give us your thoughts on this fight and how you see it playing out.
Man, so I'm with Boston, but I was waiting to find out who he was training under. So you saying he wasn't with Derek James.
He's not, he's with Ben Davis.
So
yeah.
I'm saying, you know what? Man, this is a 50-50 fight, bro.
Woo!
I'm saying it's a 50-50 fight. I'll say 50-50 based on both talent and skills. And I'll say also what pulls Joshua down at that to the 50-50 is we don't know what fight style he gonna get. We don't know what fight style. We have no idea what fight style we getting, man, from this guy. And then also, I think Boston hit it on the head too. Like this should be the time to shine. You're on the same card. Wilder's there, and let me go ahead on to say right now, and I don't care who hear it, any of them heavyweights can hear it. They can call it a day of reckoning if they want to, but let's be clear. This is a hope for relevance. Ooh. This is a day of seeking relevance all across the board. You know what I'm saying? Love me some Wilder, but bruh, Tyson bought that thump on you, and you still working through some stuff yourself. Joshua, I will say this. I understand that, I always say a fighter either fighting for loot or what?
Legacy.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying this is a day of relevance, a day of hope for some type of relevance, man. So I'm gonna say this fight gonna go 50-50, man. Honestly, man, if I had to lean somewhere, to be honest with you, man, I'm leaning with the other dude, man. Because
oh man, come on, Dave.
One thing I want to say in Dave's defense is that Wallin's only loss was against Tyson Fury, even though it wasn't the part of Tyson Fury that beat Deontay Wilder. But
that's a fair point.
He's never been, from what I've seen, and I've looked over, he's never been down in a fight.
He has not been in with the biggest. I know it's
he has not. He has not. And when you look at, there's a lot of the most recognizable heavyweights you can see is Dominique Brazil, Travis Kaufman, if you know really into it. But those are the only two names that anybody would probably recognize on his record.
Dude is an interesting fighter, though, man. I'll put it to you. Yeah. If Joshua comes in there not trying to take this guy's head off, if he comes, I'm talking about if he doesn't come in there saying, this is my time, if it's anything other than I'm coming here to fight and whoop you know what, Joshua might lose this fight, dude.
I agree. Dave, Joshua, I wanted to ask.
It can't be no, you ain't got time to be. I put, okay. Coaching hat right quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Coaching hat right quick.
Go ahead.
I'm looking to see what comes out of that corner. They better have a solid plan that this guy can stick to, because this guy got 50 million fight lessons and voices in his head right now from coaches. That's what Joshua got. And he got a desperation of hoping that, can I continue on and win?
Dave, I want
he got that fight plan better be strong, and Joshua better come in there saying, I'm standing behind that jab, and I'm going to drop these bombs coming behind that jab. Period.
Dave, what do you, as a trainer, you get a guy like AJ who's on his fourth coach, and however, what was it, Cam? 4 coaches in 4 years or 3 years, something like that?
Yeah, well, it's third coach in 2 years, but overall he's had 5 coaches within the last 5 years. So a different coach.
Dave, what do you do? Do you try to uninstall do you look at what he's got in sparring and say, okay, and build off of what he's got, or do you start from scratch? Like what do you do with a guy like that?
I'll be honest with you, man. If Joshua came to me right now, the first thing that I would ask Joshua is, honestly, what's your favorite punches to throw, and what do you think is your most devastating punch? But that's the first thing that I would ask him, right? And then I would take a look at 2 fights. I would take a look at 2 fights of him up under each one of his trainers, right? regardless of who was training him, I would be looking for what is the common punch thrown by out of all those guys, because that's that guy's natural fight style. Like I'm looking for his natural bread and butter, like what they say when you be playing Tekken or something. What's his signature shots that this guy is just fluid with? It just comes natural to him. You see what I'm saying? And then, bro, honestly, man, I would build off of that. This guy right now, to me, this is about self. This is about what is in this guy that makes him want to fight. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking for the natural stuff that this guy has just been throwing out of all those coaches. I'm starting from what this guy like. What's the most confident in your game that you got that's innate, that's in there? Because we got to bring out the true essence of you, not the essence of you because you're fighting subpar opponents, not the essence of you because you haven't been really trained or hit yet until you ran into Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Not the essence of you that's the hype off of your daggone, Adonis looking body. Man, I need the core of what makes you want to be in this ring and try to whoop ass. That's what I need. That's what I need. You gain confidence in that and go put this thing and go put this thump on this man. And that's the true Joshua. That's the true Joshua. The whole Joshua, all this other time, and I'll say it, it's been subpar opponents. It's been you thinking that you're a Greek god, but the minute Ruiz put them hands on you, boy, and you was touched, your whole world went out the door. So that's what I would do with him right now, man. Tell me what you know about this sport. Tell me what you like about you. You know what I'm saying? I know me. I know they call me Gorilla Hook back when I was fighting. I know what my stuff is. I know I love to touch that body. Let me hit this body. So that's what I'm getting at, man. It's just that the core essence of what are you the most confident in regarding your fight game, regardless of what coach you've been around, bro. That's what I would do with him, man.
So, Coach, we're gonna stay with you for the pundit picks, but before we do, I just want to give the odds and as far as the money line. So, Anthony Joshua is seen as a pretty considerable favorite in this fight. So he is a negative 450 favorite, and Otto Wallin is a plus 310. So just to describe, so that means that you would need a $450 bet on Anthony Joshua to get back $100, and then $100 bet on Otto Wallin will net you $310. So he's about a 4.5 to 1 favorite in this fight. So with that said, Coach, what is your pundit pick for this fight?
Oh man, see, Jared done messed me all up, man. Boston done messed me all up. Okay, man. All right. To be fair and to be honest, I am 100%. I hate to do it, man, but I am 100% betting on my desire, which is I desire for Joshua to win, man. So I'm gonna say Joshua by decision, man. I'm gonna say Joshua by decision. And I'm gonna say Joshua by a scary decision.
So that's Joshua by decision is almost kind of even odds. So it's a plus 120. So right, $100 bet will get you back 120. So it's almost even odds on there. So Boston Jared, what say you?
I'm with Dave 100% on this. I say Joshua by a very, very, very scary decision. I think that you will see a very, very close competitive fight, and somewhere in the last quarter of the fight, you will see AJ score a flash knockdown that puts him ahead, and that secures the decision. I think you'll see two scorecards that are accurate. you'll see a two 116, 112s, maybe a 115, 113, and one 116, 112. And you'll see another guy whose card was filled out before he even got to the fight. Something absurd. I tell you, the guy that got the premium deluxe suite with the gold toilet seats in Riyadh, the guy that got the Ukrainian prostitute sent to his room the night before, he'll have some crazy scorecard, a 10-2 or an 11-1 scorecard. But you'll see two judges will have the fight. You'll see a 750, 115, 113, and a 116, 112. I think this fight's it's competitive. I think you'll see it. AJ and 12. AJ by like Dave said, a scary UD.
It's SD. Are you saying
Uneasy?
Uneasy UD. Okay.
And one more thing, Cam, before you go to Professor. Look,
go ahead.
And I'm saying all of that is just me based on saying this guy just, I don't know if he know who he is. If Joshua come out there trying to take it to this guy, like if this guy got in Joshua's head and said, this is show who you are. You got Wilder looking at you, you know what I'm saying? Show who you are. Then Joshua gonna hurt this dude. But it's hot. I know within the first 2 rounds, bro. Y'all see it in text. I'll say, hey, Joshua gonna hurt this dude. That's what I'm gonna send to you. And I know within the first 2 rounds, man. Come out there feeling this joker out and all that stuff, man. You might get knocked out, man. I might secretly put $100 on the side on the other. Go ahead, man.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. Look, there's not a whole lot in Wallin's history that would indicate he's capable of a knockout. Not the same way that Andy Ruiz. If you go back, everyone's going to point to Andy Ruiz, and nobody gave Andy Ruiz a shot. I think if we look quickly here, I think we'll see that Andy Ruiz, his boxing history, there was much more that indicates knockout, much more of a traditional heavyweight knockout type of a puncher than Otto Wallin. 35 wins, 22 KOs for Andy Ruiz, and for Wallin, we've got 26 wins, 14 KOs. 14 KOs against who? This guy hasn't.
I mean, Andy had a lot better competition coming up.
Andy did, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked out some kid named Gianluca Mandras in the 5th round. That was back in 2017. And this guy, Mandras, doesn't even have stars.
A good knockout when he was kind of coming up against it was an Eastern European, like he kind of just overwhelmed and kind of took it to the dude. But
Andy did, you saying, right?
Yeah, Alexander Dimitrenko or whatnot. But he
not familiar.
Yeah, he was just kind of a big 6'7", kind of a hyped up, but he's went on to lose like 6 more fights and 5 of them by KO and stuff like that. But
this guy Wallin went 8 rounds with Helamon Olguin in 2023. That was almost beginning of this year here. So tough to see a knockout. Tough to see a knockout for Wallin, but competitive fight, I think it's totally possible.
So I am going to step out on a limb, and I guess it's kind of wishful thing because to be honest, I found in his interviews, I found Anthony Joshua to be very pensive, almost irritated to be there, which is not the version of Anthony Joshua that we know at his height. Like one of the reasons why he was so popular as a heavyweight was, he was a nice looking guy, the Adonis figure and all that, but he was very kind of affable and just like his interaction with the media was kind of very natural and kind of organic, and then it just it endeared him to a larger boxing community. At one point, there was an argument that he might have been the kind of biggest draw in boxing, at the kind of apex, of his career. But I mean, that can be debated. But maybe as the biggest international star, you could kind of say that he probably was at some point. But I do think that I think part of the reason why he is so kind of pensive at this moment is that he understands the gravity of the situation and knows that he's essentially fighting for his boxing career at this point, which is fine. I mean, he's made the money and stuff. So Coach Dave always talk about fighters fight for loot or for legacy. I think he is fighting for his legacy. He doesn't need with his endorsement deals and all those other things. He's good to go. But I actually think that he does care about his place in the history, in the kind of annals of of the boxing history. He cares about his place in there. So I think he's gonna go out to make a statement in this fight, if not only to kind of help with the rehabilitation of his image, just for his own sake, right? For him to be able to have, like, he got some of it back when he knocked out Robert Helenia, but I think that I think he's determined to go in and make a statement. I'm not even sure though if he does make that statement, if they're gonna make that Wilder fight, because I was a little disappointed. And this is just for edification, but Anthony Joshua said that he would actually prefer a title opportunity over the opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, this whole pseudo tournament has been a way to kind of build up you two guys fighting each other. And then Deontay Wilder was like, I've been a champion, I've done all those things. Like, I want to fight Anthony Joshua. That's the fight that the people have been calling for. So that just gives you an idea of the mental state going into this fight. But part of it is like what Coach says, it's just me kind of will this outcome. But I'm going with a ninth round TKO for your boy Anthony Joshua. I'm going out on the limb.
All right.
I'm doing it. Somebody who's I'm going out on the limb. I think that Joshua Wallin, his lack of formidable competition, I think is gonna catch up to him. And I think that he is gonna be fighting somebody who is a little bit desperate. And then sometimes you can go one or two ways with a desperate fighter, and I think we're going to see something out of Anthony Joshua.
Man, I don't know if I want AJ desperate. Angry, maybe. I think I would prefer.
Yeah,
I would prefer angry AJ to a desperate one. And you used a great word when you said pensive. I don't think he likes being around all these big, angry American Negroes, man. I think that really, really gets his go. And look, I mean, to be fair, how many cards have we seen like this in the history of sport? I mean,
never. I've never seen a card like.
Right. I mean, just having to share the stage. There's a lot of egos running around there, right? A lot of different guys, a lot of very, very talented guys, a lot of good boxers, man. And like I said, he hasn't looked the greatest recently. And he's a guy who, like you guys have pointed out, psychologically has not been the most stable guy. If there's one thing we can say about a guy like Deontay Wilder, the conspiracy theories and all that stuff, the guy is confident. I don't think I've ever seen this guy step into the ring and have me question at a press conference, almost borderline like narcissistic personality disorder, right? I mean, it's never his fault. He's never, whatever goes wrong, it's always somebody else. You can take that and harness that as a professional athlete. That egocentrism, that narcissism, and a clever trainer, a good trainer right? Dave, you're gonna take that and you can really, really harness it. Fuck all that shit that goes on outside there, all that circus shit. I mean, it's not ideal, but if my guy is confident in that ring and he believes in himself and he believes in his ability, I take that any day over the other week over a guy that has any kind of shred of doubt, especially in the heavyweight division where a fight can end in a fucking instant. You have to have that bravado, that confidence in this division more so than any division in boxing.
I agree. All right. And I think that's a perfect way to kind of close that out. So it is the day of reckoning. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Yeah. Somebody gonna get wrecked. Good dude.